Uno. Kicking things off this evening, we're going to have Bernard King Presents, but many great acts coming up this evening, including Duck the Piano Wire, also known as Justin Reamer, Bad Trace, Rebecca Florence, Loose Mason, Endless Arrows. But for now, we're going to kick things off with a little bit of poetry. On deck is going to be Cannonball Statman, but coming to the stage right now, please give it up for Matthew Allen.
If you want to be Chagall, then be Chagall.
On deck is Devin Wolfwood. Welcome, Cannonball Statman.
Wonkatino! More monkey manners would be nice. You have an app for that? A cat with a gas mask for that? Monkey up! Those chunky soup Asian girls were a turnoff. Too much noodles. See how, see now, see cow. Joe Colucci. Somewhere out in the Hermetic Hills, like a weird dream half forgotten, a magnificent mundane minestrone, hilariously hairy, a durable water repellent for your fur, for your monkey mirror management, my pretty little Wonkachino.
On deck is John Berger. Welcome, Devlin Wolfwood.
I hear the crickets through the screen, Cara. Sad crickets of the falls bear scene, Cara. They sound like the soundtrack of time, Cara. The blue sky and green earth are thine, Cara.
On deck is Hallie Rose Kelly. Please welcome John Berger.
The flea has been flimmed, the jam has been gymmed, the phlox has been flamed, the ham has been jammed. Her art in her belly, a hiking canteen, her knee to her elbow, her ear to her spleen, she squaffeth and squeaketh on her body's surfboard, the brain of a plain Jane to coconut cord. Miasma and asthma, the mothers of strife, belittle the breasts of the ovulate wife, until such as she, the wee foxy thing, does clapper and clamor a bird on the wing.
On deck is Dina Levy. Please welcome Hallie Rose Kelly.
Shades of Scarlet conquering Joni Mitchell. Out of the fire like Catholic saints comes Scarlet in her deep complaint, mimicking tenderness she sees in sentimental movies. A celluloid rider comes to town, cinematic lovers sway. Plantations in sweeping ballroom gowns take her breath away. Out in the wind, in crinolines, chasing the ghosts of Gable and Flynn. Through stand-in boys and extra players, Magnolia is hopeful in her auburn hair. She comes from a school of southern charm. She likes to have things her way. Any man in the world holding out his arm would soon be made to pay. Friends have told her, not so proud. Neighbors trying to sleep and yelling, not so loud. Lovers in anger, block of ice, harder and harder just to be nice. Given in the night to dark dreams, from the dark things she feels, she covers her eyes in the X-rated scenes, running from the reels. Beauty and madness to be praised, because it is not easy to be brave, to walk around in so much need, to carry the weight of all that greed. Dressed in stolen clothes, she stands, cast iron and frail, with her impossibly gentle hands and her blood-red fingernails. Out of the fire and still smoldering, she says, a woman must have everything. Shades of Scarlet conquering, she says, a woman must have everything.
Devin Wolfwood on deck again. Please welcome Dana Levy.
I thought of her in the silence broken by the gibbering nightbirds, with their long black faces and glass eyes, though it was just a dream with the cows in a row. And it is your fault, you who are not here, you who are reading this, you can do nothing for us. Bring her to me, you and the long-faced birds that interrupt a sappy night. I could not sleep. Thought about her bare ruined ass. Her bare ruined it, and on my love put a mask of love, to disguise my love from night's epitomes. Its poetry eyes disguise its eyes from shyness, from her eyes. I thought about it from 10 past the hour until 10 to the bare ruined choir of her ass, a poem. Then, as the horse and carriage of the weird wee hours drew near, like a native mask of corn, laid down my masquerade. What strange complexity impenetrate the Boschian world of fruit and hell. The red and black chaotic reign of her, I paused. At once was shocked again and shaken. Her breast was pendant with adorning dew, was shocked at God's fine work.
Matthew Allen on deck. Welcome, Devlin Wolfwood.
I thought that I might see you on the trip, though I knew you were nowhere near, to see what kind of coat you wear, like spotting in the lowly crowd an angel from the choir loft. But knew that you were far away, across the railroad tracks of day, beyond the fields of onions and the cows, the snow queen bows. I knew that there would be no thing to mark you, not a finger ring, not bluebirds, and no sleeping owls, none of your cousins of the trees, just the guitar of a stranger and Burt's Bees. But picked a page of news to use, to write to you, of hue that I assigned to you. You were still singing a night's ear like a bell that calls the men on ships. And as the night, its froth, it spills into the harbor, and it kills the angels on the building's spires, sit sentinel with angled eye, angled gaze, on egg and dart and artifice, above the park and the old rooms. Now graves of history, sad tombs, where Poe stood caped defiant in the wind, and did his writer's thing. There you go, up to the steeple of the church, lost among the angels' wings.
Rebecca Florence on deck. Matthew Allen coming to the stage.
All the billion breathing trees, all pale spirits of the breeze, all the bright surrounding birds, all of mankind's fleeting words, all the summer's salient fruits, all the girls' ears seashell cute, all the August angels in their teal-tiered divinity, all the scuttling waxwing omens, all the children in balloons, grace of hunt and grace of hound, all the blackbirds by the pound, tight pink shirts of slinky girls, wyverns of the olden world, I fought to save the birds and trees, as I loved her bare bruised knees, her honey trap, her pith and pitch.
Bipolar Bradley is on deck. Welcome Rebecca Florence to the stage.
Without the monkey of your dreams swinging from the smoke-stained beams, no sunset on egg noodle hair, no spring rabbits by the pair. Sunk is love out in the road, all ammo spent, load after load. Shunpike is where you are shunned. Sunny side up is not her breasts. She is not over easy. Malaise is where she leaves you in fall blaze or a sea view. A raven is her flight of mind with athletes after her behind. She took me out to the manor with thoroughbred blood in her veins, Victoria's Secret curtains drawn. On poetry, you wrote it, Dawn. The greenwood was the place she roamed, where great deflated condoms hung in branches in the aftermath of phantom cunts that circled in the trees. And when she opens up her mouth, just bees.
Matthew Allen is going to be on deck again, and during this next poet / reader, I'm going to come around with the mandolin tip jar for Bernard King Presents. Please get a couple bucks ready. Remember, suggested donation is $5 per set. Get your money, you throw it in the mandolin tip jar as I'm coming by, and give it up for Bipolar Bradley on the stage.
Black boots and long nose. The echo of her voice, a face in plaster, while rummaging around with Stephen Foster, dug up her bones out of the earth of clay. The long Italian-nosed Mona Lisa looked down, fucking her an imaginary Dylan album on a lonely Sunday afternoon. She had hypnotized me with her soft little coat. The night like an old iron door, an arch gray cat, a dismal moat. She found herself a vagrant thing, my heart ensnared like with a wire. By just her dainty finger's ring, she smoked into the past as future chugged its train. But not to blame, not to blame. She ate her chocolates in the northern wastes, as out of the pain-cold pain's bleak harbor's days, transported her back then to sunny clime. In search of love she climbed, and climbed, caught on a branch, as if one rag, a rag girl picked, the little maid who eyed Scotch eggs. That's how I thought of her, a kitten's eyes, hidden in the crowded photograph behind the window's spectacled whore, with lenses mirroring her breasts, while she hid hers behind her mother's lace, her sister's necklace, sweater that she knitted out of poems of leaves, whole sweaters worth of 19th century poems, where all breasts and poems trickled down into night's icy drink as she drank of old New York. Spring of life, and now she springs like daisies in winter across the far-flung fire fields of colored bush. No Egyptian geodesic goddess with her devil staff, rose cheeks. Medusa looks hanging in the pastures of plenty. All the other women wear scarves, but this little waif wears a giant, living, breathing diamond. Third eye, third breast, third heart, an ocean surges up her gut into fairy field day, as all the rest go back and out into the petrified hills. The clock face is a banjo, and the banjo face the moon, and her hands a little dipper, and her cheeks are in a swoon. Little bird under the eaves still sings, even in the cold's first punch. There she is, sitting the dust around on the floor with her foot. There she is, in diffuse light revealing each mode of dust, a little spirit ship of ones who speak the language of the things with wings. Wind of October slaps a little sting into her milk and roses face, and she pulls a quartet round her like grandmother's shawl, and for her little galaxy the moon and stars all bawl to find her sleeping in a pile of spaghetti. All the while, mimicking her piled hair, she dreams her vision of a peace pie world. There, in the egg batter of her body, her hair falls down her chin like words, and each word sits in the porch of your ear, like the sound of the tide, her cockle shells all in a row, while her muff all ready for snow. Then she's unleashed in red ribbons of life, red ribbons of blood, and the love in her sinews flown off the wreck that scourge the beast in her to flex. Oh, to be balanced on her thighs, to be pinioned on her back, and her flux and her flossy flax, with her lie down and relax. Then, black boots and long nose came in, but I sent her away. and the cat and the fiddle and the little dog laugh, and just like the dish ran away with the spoon, I was gunning for her. At least for a day. Thank you.
Matthew Allen is coming to the stage now, and lastly we will have J.J. Hayes.
Dennis, why don't you tell me? Why don't you tell me, Dennis?
And please give a warm round of applause for J.J. Hayes. J.J. Hayes and Friends.
Valedictory by Bernard King. She went among forgotten books, O mildew in the winter shed, among the mushrooms and the loam, the herbs and deadheads and I Ching, where dreams were only roots and stones, to find the moment between time and time, between birth and death of vines, kid goats and men. Her spirit quickened out of silence, brood, transcendent mood, transmuted through her fire of self, from gross to subtle energy.
Maria Sibylla Marian, Legends of Christ.
She'd known exactly what she wanted. She had cared nothing for the past, nor those who asked. She'd fled her bed and turnip soup in time of war, defeat of the male sex, to find determination what to wear, what with entanglement of work and dinner here and there, and all accomplishment.
Maria Sibylla Marian, Legends of Christ.
Now, with the dried out husks and bulbs, to find such jewels and perfume brought back from distant cities, find her muse? To see in an old children's book the red Italian shoes. Put your feet in these. A hint from someone on the breeze. Who asked? A test, she guessed.
Maria Sibylla Marian, Legends of Christ.
And with chopped wood and chopping down of times all flown, after the waxed and waning moons, as if her once 7-year-old self there in the corner with the garden gnome could still commune between the birth and death of vines, kid gloves and men, corrode some verdigris about her ear, pure white shell, no words to fear.
Maria Sibylla Marian, Legends of Christ.
No, it's not the universe to blame. 3 spirits under January's holy head, a distant sound of Latin song, and scent of fresh baked bread. For everything was just the same. Roast chestnuts and the horses' clops, the season's throws, and there she was. Legs in the air, her diamond nails in white light out of heaven fell. Her spirit quickened out of silence, brood, transcendent mood, transmuted through her fire of self, from gross to subtle energy.
Maria Sibylla Marian, Legends of Christ.
Please give one more round of applause for Bernard King Presents. Great way to kick off the Winter Antifolk Fest